what kind of content do you see that's like kind of different from the traditional content creation these days? I mean, I heard of like, viewer content creations, like more, the customers are creating, content for their brands and, hashtag it on Instagram. So, people can see that and maybe you get a little bit of sponsorship or whatever it is.
Right.
But I mean, how is it evolving these days?
So I work in an area that's known as content marketing. And the idea behind it is that previously brands used to advertise in magazines, on TV, on movies. But nobody actually bought the movie for the ad. No one bought the magazine for the ad. No one went to the cinema to watch the ad. So why are we spending so much time and money and energy in creating things that nobody asked for? Most people kind of don't want, and people actually are actively blocking, whether they're TiVoing TV shows to fast forward through the ads, or they're turning up to the cinema late, or they're deploying ad blockers on their browsers, like
I do that.
650 million people have. Well, thanks to the drop or the barrier to entry to creating and distributing content has dropped because digital technology, we're being filmed here by 3 cameras that are worth, a couple of $1,000s each, whereas before they would be $100,000 each, and that's why we can make all this, right? So the purpose of content marketing is to say, well, instead of making ads and putting on other people's content, what if you just made your own content and then people will come straight to you? You don't need to buy ads from other people. They come to you.
Right.
That suggests that companies need to become media companies. They need to get better at being media companies. And that's where there's a stumbling block, because if you're good at making shampoo, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're good at making media. If you're good at making shampoo, you're not necessarily good at making ads. That's where you hire an agency.
Exactly.
But an agency is a very expensive way to create, something that you have to put out every day or week or month. So you need to kind of bring it in-house. So you're learning right here, okay? You're not a broadcaster. You told me you're a hedge fund guy.
Yeah.
And here you are presenting your own, TV show and podcast. Right? You're on a journey, and you're good at it now. Right. You'll be great at it in 5 years, and in 5 years you may have a huge following, and you'll be the Joe Rogan of Asia or something. That's the idea. That's why you start, and the risk to starting that is quite low.
That's true.
To do this 20 years ago would have cost you a couple $100,000. Now it's going to cost you a few $1,000s. So I think the idea is to get brands to start thinking about, well, what if I built my own media properties, and then I'd own my audience, I'd own the ad space, I'd own the data, and I'd own an asset that sits on the bottom line. And so ads which get spent and disappear, and once that money's spent, you're not getting it back. But content is an asset that you build on and build on and build on, and eventually you find that you own a whole channel, and that has real value. And that value doesn't disappear; it doesn't go away. You retain your audience instead of having to go chasing after them with a new ad campaign every 6 months, which never gets you any further forward. So that's the idea between content marketing. Now, what kind of content? Well, that's the $1 million question.
Right.